Hey guys, we're flipping the script here. No sponsors, just a single request. It's you who powers our mission. Join us in empowering founders, business leaders, and entrepreneurs to build great businesses, increase their income, and provide sufficient for their families and make a difference in the world. A single ask I have of you, please, please, please review and share this podcast. 1 minute of your time could make a difference to a fellow entrepreneur's life. So please review this podcast today. It'll make a world of difference to me and our community. Thank you very much for all the questions that have come through directly and through Contractors Chronicles. I often get questions that makes me deeply reflect on my journey, and this whole process is about explaining my journey in such a way that I hope it resonates with you, because I wish someone else documented their journey in a real way. And let's cover some of those questions. We're going to cover two of them today. So the one question was, I'm currently working as an employee and want to start my own business. I have my sights set on a business, but can you please explain what I can expect throughout the journey? So maybe just reflecting a little bit how I started. I've had a couple of businesses, 9 businesses as it stands. But let's talk about this real one that we're currently busy with, that's taking a lot of my time, and I'm loving it. It's not a sexy business. It's absolutely a roll up your sleeves and do it business. And I'm quite excited about it. So I saw the opportunity to import a waterproofing system and bring it into the market. And slowly we started speaking to different contractors to see if we can supply our specialized waterproofing membranes for flat roofs. And we discovered that throughout the first 3 months of doing that, I was just hitting my head against the wall. I had a problem. The contractors just looked upon me as someone who didn't have the experience in the industry, said I couldn't do it, and all of the above. And really, at the end of the day, after knocking on, say, 18, 19 doors, I actually turned to my wife and I said to her, listen, I don't know what I've got myself into here. We've got this system that we know is going to work in this market. We know it's a superior system, and the guys aren't buying it for whatever reason. And she turned around to me and she said, well, Themi, you've got to consider doing this yourself and proving yourself in the market. And that's exactly what I went and did. So what I did was, initially I was licking my wounds, feeling very frustrated with this whole journey of bringing this product to the market, having the sole rights for it to distribute it, but contractors weren't buying it because of the prices, etc. And I decided to go into contracting and doing it myself to show, listen, this is the system that we can seal flat roofs. We can give you longer warranties in the business, and we can also increase the professionalism. We can waterproof big flat roofs without having to have many seams. It's very unique in the market, and we just decided to go and do it ourselves. So we did our first job, we did our second job, we did our third job, and then people started saying, we want more of you because you're doing it differently. Why are you doing it differently? And one of the reasons that I did differently was I came in from a mindset of, I don't want to know too much about this industry because I'm going to get jaunted by the way the other people do it, and the industry is very unprofessional. So if we can just stand out a little bit in the market and show that we're professional, we're going to get more work. So coming back to the question is, how did I do it? Well, I had to step into the unknown. I had to ask myself the scary question that if I know too much about doing contracting, will I do it? And I would say, absolutely, I wouldn't do it. So saying to myself, hold on, I'm going to just jump in, figure it out along the way, and just try and see if I can grow this business that way. And today, first of all, we started off in the back of my garage. We had all our waterproofing membrane. We had the photograph of the first truck that arrived. I was cranking up our waterproofing membrane to our ceiling or our roof in the garage to try and store it. My wife was cursing me because we had waterproofing membrane and products lying all over the place. And really, that question that you asked me, I did dig back into the archives a bit to find out more about how I felt at that stage. And did I have uncertainty? Yes. Did I have fear? Absolutely, I had fear. So my one of my learnings was throughout that whole process was the following. Step in, create the vacuum, and then fill up that space. So step in other words, remove the fear, just step in. So I'm jumping in, I'm going to figure this out. I have confidence in myself that I can figure it out. And it was 2 of us that started the business. Today we've got about 18, 19 of us that are working. We've got about 7 managers working in the business. And we've moved locations from our house to a very central area. So this is one of the businesses that we are growing at the moment. But I think it's also important, I made some more notes about it, that we try to understand the journey. So you're an employee, you're working for someone, you probably feel like many employees, like I did at some stage, that I'm making someone else wealthy, I'm not growing my own assets, I'm not being able to create my own time freedom and my cash flow freedom. I'm finding that I'm stuck. I can't spend more time with my family. I can't just go for a surf when I want to. I have to report to someone. And what's going to happen down the road? Because I have the belief, and that's my belief from growing the businesses, that no other vehicle out there but being self-employed can really, really grow your wealth, like jumping into your own business and starting it off. So the first step is, when you start a business, you're going to step into either a lifestyle or a moms and pops business. So let's just step back a bit. You're an employee. That'll be the first rung of the ladder. The second rung of the ladder would be, I'm jumping into the business and I'm creating that vacuum. So I'm creating the vacuum and I'm going to fill it. So you start your business because you like that opportunity. And yes, there's lots of risk. I'm not saying there's not a lot of risk. There is always risk involved. But you most likely step from an employee to some kind of moms and pops lifestyle business. And then you'll stay there for a while because you are the face of the business. But soon you'll realize, as you grow the business, that you're being pulled from pillar to post. And that's exactly what happened with me. I got pulled to pillar and post, and it's happened to me with all my businesses. And I quickly realized I needed to get the right people on board. So the next step would be, hold on a second, I can't run this just with me doing everything. Because as an entrepreneur, we're wearing so many hats. We're wearing a hat of doing admin, HR, operations, technical, financial, and I could carry on. We're wearing all these hats. And IT is a big one today. So we're running all these little facets of our businesses. We're wearing these different hats, and it starts becoming a bit of a struggle. So you start dropping the ball. You start giving less customer service. You start getting despondent, and you start saying, why did I start the business in the first place? This is absolutely not why I started. I can't go surfing. I'm not spending time with my family. It's taking me extra time. I'm working a 90-day week. My previous job, I was working a 40-day week. I meant to say a 90-hour week, not a 90-day week. A 40-hour week is what I'm working as an employee at the moment. But the minute I stepped into this other business, I'm now working like a 90-hour week, and that doesn't pay me. So you start reflecting, and that's exactly what happened to me. And then I started realizing I needed to get management, and I started recruiting 1 or 2 people that I thought could replace me. So we do what we do best, and we say, okay, we're going to stick to that, but what can I start farming out that are low hourly rate activities? Like, for instance, with me, I was doing all the quotes at one stage, and I remember when I was a business coach coaching these entrepreneurs many years ago. I was coaching a landscaping firm, and we were going through the cycle of coaching this landscaping firm to get this business to become scalable. And I said to the one manager, or at least not manager, he's an owner at the time, saying to the owner, you need to step out of the quoting, because the quoting is taking most of your time. And he said, there's no ways I can let go of quoting. We're running in an industry, we're in a contracting business, and there's no ways, only I know how to quote. And it was a very difficult transition to transition this client of mine, because I was a coach and I was coaching this client, out of quoting. We eventually managed to do it, and there was success. So I had to do the same now in this business. Step out of quoting was taking way too much of my time. And we managed to put the right systems in place, the right training, and we got one person to start quotes. So now the quotes are going out. I can deal with building the systems for the business, understanding how the marketing works, and I wasn't prepared to let that go. But I eventually got good management in, good people in, to start taking over my low hourly rate activities. So that starts becoming like a management run business. So remember, we started with an employee, then we started with a lifestyle business or moms and pops business, and then we start running a management run business. And then the fourth area is an entrepreneurial venture that can work without you. And that's an interesting space, because I said to myself, I'm not starting this Contractors Chronicles journey unless I start breaking into that realm. I have to be able to break into that area so that I can teach it to other entrepreneurs or other business owners or founders out there who want to break away from being a lifestyle business to a business that works profitably without them. So Contractors Chronicles is all about growing cash flow businesses without selling your soul. And that's exactly what we've set out to do. And I can clearly say we're getting to that stage now in this business with our waterproofing business, our specialized flat roof waterproofing business, where we've got this business running with some key people that are taking over responsibilities, and it's starting to work more without me, that I can work more on the highly hourly rate activities that can bring in more income for this business. And then, of course, what I'm enjoying throughout this whole process is that never mind uplifting an industry by being professional, I'm also uplifting the team that is with me. I'm growing the team and they're growing with me, and I'm enjoying that process. It's probably the best time of my business. I probably didn't like the employee stage. I learned a lot. Yes, I was getting paid for being an employee, but ultimately, I'm not creating my time freedom and my financial freedom. And second of all, the lifestyle business, I realized that I am the business. So I've created myself a job in this business. And then the third area would be the management run business. Well, that's all good and dandy if you have a management run business, but you still get pulled in and you're still a manager. So you do have a quasi job in the whole process. Truly, where you want to get to is creating an entrepreneurial business that can work profitably without you. And that's what we're aiming for in our businesses. So we're very excited. We've got the waterproofing business growing to that stage now, where I still have to jump in every now and again. However, it's taken on a new face completely, and I'm starting to extract myself more, and I'm loving it. So what are the different kind of character traits that you need to start embracing, I suppose, when you go down this journey from an employee to an entrepreneurial business that works without you? And one of them would be, I would think, as an entrepreneur, as a founder, as a business owner, you need to have tenacity. You need to be able to say, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to stick it through, because my belief is that life is either a finite game or it's an infinite game. If we have a finite view on running our businesses, then there's an end. Okay, but if we have an infinite view on running our business, then it starts becoming better, because then we start saying, hold on, if we do one thing very well for a long period of time, we can start growing a successful business. And I guarantee you that if you start focusing on one thing consistently for a period of time, like I am doing now with Contractors Chronicles, I want to be consistent in this space. I know I'm not doing it the way I should be doing it. I know I'm not doing it well, but I'm getting the baby crawling, walking, and running. The same applies to the business, is having that tenacity to say, hold on, we're going to crawl, we're going to walk, and we're going to run. No matter what we do, we're not going to do it perfect, but we're going to figure it out along the way. So the other area, the other trait I think is important is uncertainty, dealing with uncertainty, is understanding that when you're creating your own business, you definitely dealing with uncertainty. So the different stages: employee, lifestyle business, management run business, entrepreneurial venture that works profitably without you is the ultimate. You are going to experience, well, I did at least, experience uncertainty along the way regularly. But it starts becoming less when you start understanding that your business develops a face and it develops a character. And once it starts developing a character, much like a child, you start predicting their behavior. And once you can start predicting the behavior of your business and the surrounding clients, the suppliers, the economy, and you start predicting, hold on, if the economy picks up, this is what happens to my business. If the economy drops, this is what happens to my business. If I increase leads, I'm going to have an operational issue, so what I need to put in place, this is what's going to happen. If I overspend on operations and I don't take my foot off the throttle on the leads, this is what's going to happen. My business is going to be overexposed from a cash flow point of view, and it's going to be an issue. So dealing with uncertainty really starts. First of all, we got to understand that we're going to eliminate uncertainty as we go, but we also need to understand that we are going to come across uncertainty, and when it comes our way, just say it's okay. Now I know that it's come our way, and if we have that framework in our minds that uncertainty will show its face on a regular basis, we are going to embrace things a bit differently. And then the other third trait that I think is important, and there's 4 of them that I just want to cover in this podcast, is we need to be open to learning, because if we're closed to learning, then we're never going to learn anything. And I think I've covered this in most of my X posts that I put out on X Twitter. I put it out on LinkedIn regularly. Is that what are we doing with our downtime? Are we spending time exposing ourselves to areas where we can start learning? If we're driving from, say, point A to point B, and it's a 45-minute journey, are we listening to music all the time? Or are we making use of that time to put a podcast on or an audiobook in our industry to start upskilling ourselves? Because that's the way we learn. And once we can overcome that skill barrier, we start becoming confident. And when a business owner becomes confident, that's lethal. That puts you in a different dimension, because you start becoming genuinely confident from inside, because that's what's lacking, is understanding how your business operates and upskilling yourself. So if you've got those traits, I think it's wonderful. And the 4th trait I'd like to cover is embracing fear. I remember one night I was up till about 2 o'clock in the morning. I just couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning. And I said, what's bothering me? And I just realized that the uncertainty of growing this business, coming from a coaching background as well, having successfully coached hundreds of businesses, is that if I fail at this business, imagine the fingers that are going to be pointing my way. And I was just burning inside. I was like, what have I done? I've created this monster. It started to grow. My cash flow is poor. I didn't take a salary for the first 8 months of running the business. I didn't take a consistent salary for a year and a half in running this business, starting this business at least. But that whole process of understanding that, hold on a second, that's all my fear talking. It's my past that's dictating my future. I had some failures that are exposing themselves and they're keeping me up at night. But writing down those fears made me understand that they're all self-constructs. They're all things that I've put in my mind. And that if I just stick to my principle about waking up every morning, embracing the day and being present in the moment and doing the best I can in that hour, I can conquer this. Why? Because I start off with my first principle of tenacity. Nothing will get me down. I will push through until I have wins. And if business and life is an infinite game, it's not a finite game, it's an infinite game. Things don't just end tomorrow. It'll carry on. If I build a business to be a multi-million rand business, it's not finite. Someone might buy me out and I'll start other businesses. Life carries on. And I'm just in that space, in a journey in my life at the moment. And if I just focus on this journey, I'm going to make it work for me. Charlie, that does my media, she was saying to me the other day, she was shooting and she was saying, she had a moment where she was talking about creativity, and she's blessed with the opportunity. She's told me she was blessed with the opportunity of working for Waterproof Lab, because she realized that I'd given her the opportunity from working in admin to say, listen, Charlie, you've got this creative juice in you, and why don't you come do some videos and come help us grow the business that way, as far as social media is concerned. And she just realized at that moment, hold on, I've been given an opportunity, I'm getting paid for it, I'm learning all these skills, and she's got a different view on it. So her journey was like, hold on, I'm on this journey right now. Life's not a finite space. I'm going to be learning a crap lot over this time, and I'm going to give it the best I can in that space. Who knows what else will come out? And that just made my heart warm, because she's sharing the same values that I do. And I might have it on a bigger scale, but that was a clear reminder from Charlie to me, saying that, you know what, you're going to embrace fear, you're going to come across a time when you're questioning your journey, but you're just in the space for a little bit of time, and then you start growing out of it, and you will develop skills. That's why having an open mind really, really helps with growing this journey, growing along this journey, and helping you as a business owner mature, because that's ultimately where you go to, and you'll find out you'll spend time with certain people, and as you mature, you'll start wanting to spend time with other people that can challenge you, and you'll grow that way. But you can't do that if you're closed-minded. Just a quick little incident. I still business coach every now and again, and I was called in to help with a client who's being employed by a company, and the owner of the company, unfortunately, is very close-minded. So the employee said to me, "Look, Themi, we'd love to have you on as a coach. We'd love to help you grow a business." And we dealt with a challenger. We just don't know how to grow this business to the next level. And I said, "And what's the owner's input throughout this whole process? Can he join us in these discussions?" He says, "Absolutely not." I said, "Why not?" "Because he's close-minded to these opportunities." I said, "Well, then I'm sad to say that the business is going to stay like this. Because if he's closed-minded to the opportunity, you will be unhappy, because he won't grow as a leader, and you'll stay stagnant." And then he said to me, "Themi, you know, it hit me like a iron rod between the eyes, because I realized that I am staying stagnant here in this company if my leader is not open to change, is open to learning, is not spending a lot of their time, growing their mindset." So I hope that really helps. It was a long way of answering that question, but that's a good start, I think. The second question I got was, which I think is a very relevant question, was how do we get the right people on board? Okay, great. We started this business. We've started the lifestyle business. It was just me and my wife, or it was just me. Now I need to get the right people on board. And I've got a 3-tier system for this. The first one is you've got to have a 3-year plan. Why 3-year? 2 years too short, 5 years too long. So what is your 3-year plan in the business? And I believe that we need to document it. You need to start sitting down and saying to yourself, in your quiet moment, and that might not come in your first year, it might not come in your second year, it might not come in your third. Remember, life's an infinite journey. Business is an infinite journey. So the moment will come. So for me, I was at my river house on a very nice area of South Africa called the Breda, and I had some time on my own, and I was just like reflecting around where I want to take the business. I was stuck. I was saying, "God, I just need to figure out a way to take this business to the next level." And that's when I came up with the 3-year journey, the 3-year plan. It just worked for me. 5 years was just too far, and 2 years was far too short. 2 years, because I'm going to, what you can achieve in 2 years is very minimal. What you can achieve in 5 is very far and maybe unrealistic. So I like that 3-year mark. And I started writing down some points. And I called it the Waterproof Lab Manifesto. And I'm very proud of it, because I think since we've introduced that 3-year plan to the company, it's just meant so much for all of us, because it's kept us grounded, it's kept us focused, and I bring it up regularly. So that's the 3-year plan. The second tier of the whole of this tier structure is the culture, and the culture is, what is the vision for the culture that you want to set for your team? Because eventually your team, in order to grow your business, remember I said to work without you profitably, you need to create a culture of belonging. You need to create a culture of uniformity. And for me, it was, how do I do that? So I started writing down. I'm just going to read the first sentence. So the lab way was, our culture as a lab of companies will be always to put the people of the company first. Our team comes first, then our customers. And then I go into a whole explanation of how I see the company transforming in 3 years' time, How do I find the people of the company start interacting? Where I see them sitting, how I see them interacting with each other. So that's the second tier. The third tier is the value system, and this, I cannot stress this enough, is what are the values that you are going to live by in your company. And this is going to be the reason how you eventually reflect on something and you say, okay, when I bring these new people on board, these are the values that we look for in companies, in people at least. So the question was, how do you get the right people on board? Well, the value system is like, we start looking at the values. And the values, just to give you one, is communication. We realized with communication, if we can strengthen our communication in our industry, we can take our business to the next level. So communication has got various things. We speak positively about our team members and clients. We avoid sarcasm, gossip, and negative conversations. We respect each other's perspectives and take responsibility for responses. We use individuals' names when greeting and parting. We apologize and seek for solutions rather than for upsets. We discuss concerns privately with each other. And so that's the communication part. And we've got quite a few. We've got communication, growth, honesty and integrity. We've got initiative. We've got ownership. We've got positivity, passion, proactiveness, and we've got quality. So those are the areas that myself and my team came up with on a day, really brainstorming what we want to live by. And if we employ to those values, it starts making life a lot easier. The minute we get suppliers on board, we make sure that they subscribe to those values. The minute we get clients on board, we make sure they subscribe to those values, because clients can also rob our souls. And if they're not subscribing to those values, we don't want to be there. We want to make sure clients are there, and we will fire clients if they don't fit the Lab Manifesto values. So those are the three areas: the 3-year plan, the culture, and the value system. If you can understand that very well in your business, you will start attracting a different level employee. And I always said it, rather get A players than C players. C players might be cheap, but you're going to have a lot of C players. If you get good A players on board, you're going to be able to take one A player will do 3 C players jobs and 2 B player jobs. So how are you going to get A players on board? A players don't come by luck. A players, in my view, have only come up if they know that there's a vision for the company, they can grow, there's enough elasticity for them to actually expand, and the value system is conducive enough for them to spend time here. Listen guys, we're spending so much time at work. Why wouldn't we spend time happy and engaged and feel like we're giving back to each other? So this is what the Lab Manifesto has done for us, and I'm happy to share our value system with you so that it can help you. If you want to, just drop a note in the chat below, give us a comment and a share, just however you want to engage with us. Just say, I've shared, and here's a comment, Themi, please can you send it our way, and I will personally make sure that Charlie or one of my team members sends you our value system so that you can understand it in a little bit more detail and maybe build your own. So guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, we're here to celebrate our wins and share our face plants with you in the most integrous way as possible, in the most heartfelt way as possible, making it real, because no one else did that for me as I grew the company, and it's taken me a heck of a long time to understand all these concepts and put them together, and I want to make it easier for you. So please share this to another founder, another business owner that might appreciate this, and we promise we will make it valuable. We'll make it valuable enough for you to listen to the next couple of podcasts that are coming up. And stay subscribed. We just love having you part of our community.